Kia ora koutou, everyone. Welcome to the 13 June meeting of the Wellington Region Waste Management and Minimisation Plan Joint Committee. As a standard, I would invite you to all join with me in saying the karakia. Tahi rua, whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai. E he aki ana te atakura, he tio, he hoka, he hauhu, tihei Māori ora. Thank you. I'm just sitting in the chair at the Wellington office, which is a very empty room except for officers, to be honest, because Laurie is zooming in from home, and we just felt it would be easier if it was chaired from right next to Heidi, our secretary. So next on the meeting agenda is apologies. I've had an apology from Councillor Jeff Hayward from Porirua, and also from David Lee, although David may join us halfway through the meeting. So I've had no more apologies. Great. So I'll move that those apologies be accepted. Do I have a seconder, please?
I have a second.
I think that was Steve that...
Yes.
Great. Sorry, and I should also have reminded people that I don't need to say if you're in the room, raise your hands, because there's only me, but will raise my hand. But if you're online to vote on issues ahead of us, could you please use the tick or cross function on your reactions panel? Thanks. So I'll put the motion that we accept those apologies. All those people, please, all those in favour, please say aye, or otherwise indicate. Against? Declare that carried. Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to declare any conflicts of interest that they may have in relation to items on today's agenda? Can't see any hands go up, so I'll take it that that's not the case. Next, we need to confirm the minutes from our meeting of 6 December last year. I take it everyone's had a chance to look at those minutes. Are there anyone want to raise any issues with their accuracy? I'm not seeing any hands go up, so that's great. I'll move that those minutes be accepted as a true and correct record of that meeting, 6th of December. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Foon has seconded. Thank you. Any discussion? I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye or indicate. I think people are voting yes. Against? Declare that carried. Thank you. All right. We're into the item of general business on our agenda, and that is a discussion on the Region Waste Management and Minimisation Plan update, and I would welcome Stefan Borowi to speak to the report. We have got other officers also from each of our constituent councils to answer any questions, but let's start off with Stefan. Welcome to the table, Stefan.
Kia ora koutou. Through the chair, this report is providing an update to the committee on key regional and local work to implement the Waste Management and Minimisation Plan, the Wellington Region Waste Management and Minimisation Plan. There are two other items to note: that in December this year, the committee will be presented with the draft Wellington Region Waste Assessment, and that in December this year, the committee will be presented with a preliminary draft of the next Waste Management and Minimisation Plan 2023 to 2029. And that will be included with a high-level consultation schedule. So I'll take the report as read and happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Stefan. Right, who's got some questions for Stefan or any of our other officers on what's in front of us? I'll kick things off. I was interested, I mean, it's a very full report and it's pretty clear what's ahead of us. Do we take a look at what other councils are doing with their waste minimisation efforts as we draft our next plan? Is that sort of standard practice? And do we get ideas from other areas of New Zealand?
Yeah, sure. Through the chair, we look at what's happening across the whole country, and there's a whole raft of work that's going on at a national level, both from central government and through local authorities. We're also part of a territorial authority forum, which brings together all those authorities. So yeah, we're closely linked to other authorities. Yes, is the answer.
Thank you for that. And Chair, Councillor Foon has got a question for you, Stephen.
Kia ora, and I'll just start by thanking Councillor Edwards for stepping in today. It's much appreciated. I've got quite a few questions, but just a couple with this plan going forward. Do we have a comms plan to go alongside the waste assessment, and the consultation on the waste minimisation plan? Because these are quite significant events going forward. So how are we coupling a comms plan alongside this?
Sure, through the chair. So we're in the process of developing a zero waste programme. This is from a Wellington City perspective. And alongside of that, we're in the process of developing a high-level communications plan for the implementation of that programme. And that will include how we communicate and engage with interested parties, our partners and stakeholders around the waste assessment and also the waste management and minimisation plan. So we are presenting that to the committee as part of the high-level consultation document in December.
Great, that's really good to hear, thank you. I think they're both really good opportunities, especially with the assessment, to keep communicating our strategy and what we look like as a region, and maybe get some noise around that. Will that also be, I know that each TA won't be able to speak for themselves, but will they be able to also take that on? So there'll be an overarching, but also each TA will be able to do some communication around that? Is that the plan?
Yeah, through the chair. So we have a steering group that meets every month, and we'll be developing that communications plan, that overarching communications plan together. But obviously, each individual council has its own timelines and its own plan to communicate and engage with its stakeholders and community. So those individual plans will have to be developed by those individual councils.
Okay, great. And just a question, Chair, are you okay if I ask a couple more?
Absolutely, they're good questions,
okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. The Regional Waste Operator and Facility Licensing System, how are we tracking on the timeline for this? And forgive if it is in there and I've skipped over it, but I did just want to hear from officers on how we're looking for that.
Through the chair, I can briefly answer and open it up to the other officers to step in as they wish. But we're at the early stages in terms of this regime, and so we've engaged with the other councils in the North Island, so Bay of Plenty, Waikato and Gisborne, around doing some joint work to develop this regional licensing regime. So we're in the early stages, preliminary discussions, and the next step will be to go out for the procurement of that service. My understanding is that we've done some early engagement and we've sought expressions of interest, but the next step is to actually go out for a request for proposal to those organisations. So that's imminent. And
Okay.
in terms of that procurement process, this is stated in the report, that will be presented, the progress will be presented at the next committee in September.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. And then just another question on the National Waste Data Framework. So we've got regional and then we're mentioning national in the report. So I'm assuming we're doing that as a regional plan, as a regional framework. What is our timeline on that, and does it have national value, or how are we linking this into being a national opportunity?
So through the chair, I'll attempt to answer this one as well, but again, offer other officers to jump in as this.
I can pipe in as well when you're done, Stefan.
Great. So this is quite closely linked to the operator licensing. In terms of the gaps around data, they exist because we don't really have a licensing regime in place at a local, regional or national level. And so the two projects are linked together. There is some work going on at a national level around this, and I'm pretty sure that the Ministry for the Environment have already engaged with a consultant to work on the national data framework. The two will be linked, and we'll ensure that the work that we do at a regional level marries up with the work that's done on a national level. We're happy for other officers to jump in and provide further comment.
Yeah, I can maybe support that messaging, Stefan. Councillor Flynn, clearly MFE has now swung in behind collecting or getting better data. In some ways, we are ahead of what's happening at the national level, although the message that I understand we've been given is that just because there's a national system coming doesn't mean that there's now no value in doing a regional licensing system, because MFE, or at the national level, the type of data that they collect will probably be more higher level than what we would be looking for in terms of more granularity. I guess what might help us in working out what the national level does versus what would happen at the regional level is that the MFE is utilising the same consultant that we've used for our work on the regional licensing, so that will hopefully help in making sure that we get the scope right.
Awesome, that's great to hear. And can I make a suggestion? I think just even, we're nearing the end of the triennium for this committee, and I know that officers have been working hard on these two strategies as they are our priority. But is it possible to get like a one-pager, like a strategy sheet? Because we are intermittent with these meetings, it just would be good to be able to pick it up and go, okay, that's where we're at again. Is that something that officers could pull together at one of the next meetings to help us understand how we're tracking progress-wise and timeline-wise?
Yeah, through the chair, I'm sure we can produce a high-level document that links to the current region waste management and minimisation plan, and work through each of the actions, regional actions, but also the local actions, and present a document that shows how we've progressed against those.
I think that'd be really good to have, to be honest, heading into an election, and touch wood, that we're all here after October, but it might be quite a useful one-pager, two-pager to have for potential new members of the committee post-October. Anyone else have any questions for officers on this plan and on the licensing system? No, I'm not seeing any hands. I think we've had a good session on it, and we've got these workshops coming up shortly. So if there are no further questions, can I have a mover for the 4 motions that are in front of us, please, on page page 9 of our agenda. Anyone wish to move those? There they are on screen now. Well, I'm happy to move. I've lost my ability to see who might be moving this. So I'll move. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second.
Not sure who that was.
Councillor
That
Taylor.
was Fraser. Thank you very much, Fraser, has seconded those motions. Anyone want to make any comment before I put the motions?
I think that's good.
No. Oh, go, Laurie.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I would just like to thank officers for the work, and I understand that it's it's a good challenge, and it's great to see Wellington leading, and that we're ahead in our strategy, ahead of the government. So I really want to thank officers for doing that. It gives me heart to hear that we're working with the same consultant, so that we won't get hopefully too much rework needing to be done. And that maybe we'll be part of helping set a national standard, because I think ultimately that's what we're going to need. But yes, I would really be thankful for some high-level diagrams so that we can easily show, like, even as the chair, I find it very hard to pick up where we're at. And so a visual thing is what I'm really asking for, if possible, so that we can all at a drop of a hat go, yep, this is where we're at and the journey that we're on. So thanks to everybody for the work that's been done. Kia ora.
Thank you, Councillor Foon. Anyone else want to make comment? All right, I'll put those motions. All those in favour, please indicate by pushing your tick button, or, as Fraser's done, raising a hand. Thank you. Anyone against? I declare those motions carried. Thank you. And that brings us to the end of our meeting. Just before we move into the 2 workshops that we have. So I thank you everyone for coming online, and for officers for being in the room, and for the quality of the reports. There's some good information in them. So please join with me in karakia to finish the meeting. Tahi rua. Unuhia, 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 ki te uru tapu nui, kia wātia, kia māma, te nākau, te tinana, te wairua. E te ara takatū, koia rā e rongo, whakareria ake ki runga, kia wātia, ai rā kua wātia. Thank you everyone, and please hang around for the workshops. But